Hello, everyone. Welcome to this edition of Talk About Rock. I'm Rob Edwards. This week after Memorial Day, I hope you all enjoyed a great weekend. So we have a special guest for you today. From the band IRONFLAME, we have Andrew Cagna. Andrew, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well, man. How are you?
Excellent, excellent. So you guys have a new album coming out July 1st. High Roller Records is coming out on. It's called Where Madness Dwells. Tell us a little bit about the new offering you guys have for us.
I think it's definitely a more back to basics, stripped down heavy metal album compared to the albums we've done in the past. There's definitely a noticeable shift in the songwriting to where we rely a lot less on guitar harmonies as the main hooks for songs, and we went for a more riff-based approach with things. It's definitely a bit of an angrier album, definitely more pissed off than anything we've done before. And,
yeah, I've been listening to it for the last couple of days, and there's definitely a lot, because I read some of your bio and stuff, how some of the earlier albums you guys had actually written kind of on the fly as you were recording it. And there's just seems to be a lot more, deeper, richer songwriting quality to this one. Like you put a lot of time and thought about what you wanted to say before, and I think that's definitely reflected.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, I think that musically we approach it the same way, and almost all of IRONFLAME's music is kind of made up off the cuff, and kind of starts with one riff and just turns into a song from there, and we just build it as we go. But lyrically, I've always tended to just kind of, I don't want to say phone it in, but I think lyrics are a chore. They're really tough, and I have a hard time writing them. So a lot of times I'll just commit to the first thing that comes in my head, and that's the lyrics. But this time around, I definitely put a lot more thought into the lyrical content, into the overall, I don't want to say concept, but more like the overall theme of the album is madness in all of its various shapes and forms, and I kind of deal with that from song to song to song in different ways. And I never really put that kind of thought into my lyrics up until this point. So I think that's the biggest difference.
And you can definitely feel, like I said, I read your bio, you can definitely feel the Iron Maiden influence, definitely through the music and through some of the changes, but I'm really digging it. I really like it. So we're going to take a quick pause here, and we're going to actually play the video for Kingdom of Lies from the album Where Madness Dwells from IRONFLAME here on Talking About Rock, and we'll be right back.
They ride. Their desolation feeds their conquest.
Okay, we're back here. Just checked out the video for Kingdom of Lies. Great stuff, man. So are you going to have some more stuff coming out for that? Obviously, the album gets released, what would be tomorrow. So are you going to have some more videos on the way?
Yeah, July 1st, the album comes out. There's going to be another video, a visualizer video for the song A Funeral Within, to follow Kingdom of Lies, and then that will be followed by a actual performance video for the song Ready to Strike. That'll come out like directly before the album drops.
So tell us a little bit about the rest of the guys in the band there, how that came about. So these are mostly newer members for you, I think.
The band has been a live entity since 2017, and we've changed out one guitar player and our drummer, and we started out with Todd Guerreri playing drums, Jim Dofka playing lead guitar, and eventually both of those guys just had to bow out due to just life circumstances. They couldn't commit to the band, so no hard feelings there. But Jim got replaced by Jesse Scott, who used to play in a melodic metal band called Defy the Tide, and Noah Skiba replaced Todd on drums. And Noah I've known for a very long time. He's a local musician here, and I recorded him a handful of time in different bands, and I've known all these guys for years, so nobody like came in cold and was not a friend before they joined the band.
Right. And you've got a lot of other projects going on too. You're still with Brimstone Coven and Icarus Witch, right? Those are still active projects for you.
Yeah, Brimstone's been around since 2011, and I'm an original member of that. And I joined Icarus Witch in 2018. Between 2017 and 2018. And so both of those are still very much active live bands. We've got shows peppered all throughout the summer.
And did you play most of the instruments on this album as it was recording? I think that's what I was reading.
Yeah, as far as Iron Flame goes, that's the formula that's been in place since the project started. Was I record all the instruments, the vocals, the guitars, bass, and drums, and then everything but guitar solos, basically, because that's one thing that I'm not very good at.
Not your forte. Gotcha. So, and were you originally drumming before, or were you always singing?
Yeah, on all of the Iron Flame albums, that's me playing drums as well as the guitars and the bass and everything.
Okay.
And then ever since the live lineup has been solid, like for the past couple of years, I've had my live guitar players, Jesse and Quinn, compose and record all their own guitar solos on each album. So that's been happening for the past 2 albums, basically.
Now, was this something you guys kind of had to put on hold because of the COVID restrictions and stuff? And you recorded this a little while ago, and it was kind of waiting in the wings to come out?
Yeah, it affected us as much as anybody else. And the album that came out before this one, Blood Red Victory, got released like a month before the pandemic struck. So we didn't really even get a chance to promote that in any way other than the internet. And so we tried as best we could. We did a couple of live streams from our rehearsal space, and I was doing like little impromptu videos on Instagram and things like that, just focusing on each song and doing everything we could just to raise awareness for the album, because we couldn't promote it otherwise through live shows. So like I said, it happened pretty much right after that album came out, and as a result, I didn't have anything to do like anybody else. I was stuck inside the house.
Right. So many artists have talked to us, and that's why we're seeing so much stuff being released now. There were so many stuff in the works, or even stuff done, and they're like, well, we're not going to do anything with it. We're going to wait till this passes, till we can start putting PR out and figuring out if we're going to tour and stuff. And
yep.
And now you're seeing like all kinds of folks like going on tour, Scorpions and Whitesnake and
now the floodgates have opened, and it's actually tough to find an empty spot now. All these bands are vying for the same venues and the same dates, and you know, where I'm seeing it here, and I'm sure everybody's seeing it everywhere, to where, you know, you're like, oh man, there's 3 bands that I want to see, and they're all coming through either my town or close to my town, and I have to decide which one I want to go to, because you know, there's 3 shows happening on the same night, and that's probably going to be happening for another 18 months, probably, till that, you know, that wave dies down, you know.
Yeah,
so,
this is definitely gearing up to be, I think, a really hot summer for concerts and artists. You know, let's hope it's not dampened by, you know, the crazy gas prices and some other stuff that's going on. You know,
yeah.
let's hope we can have, you know, a nice you know, concert summer and get to see a few different acts. It's a little different in my day. You know, tickets were so much cheaper back then. You could see, you know, 5 or 6 bands every summer. It wasn't that bad. Now you got to kind of pick and choose.
Right.
You know what I mean? Depending on what top acts you want to see coming through. You know, we have obviously have the stadium tour coming through here, so we're going to be seeing that coming up this summer. Actually, this week we're going to have LA Guns, Faster Pussycat, and Buffalo's own Hair Nation will play in the Showplace Theater in Buffalo. So that'll be a nice show to see.
Oh yeah.
We've seen some cool acts come through there. Stephen Piercy was there a couple months ago. Firehouse, Slaughter. So like you said, the floodgates are open, and and it's definitely coming. Do you guys have some plans on deck and kind of put out some feelers to see what you're going to do after the release?
Oh yeah, I mean, we've been active ever since the weather broke. We've been active since March, basically doing little weekend mini tours, and we played Blades of Steel Metal Festival up in Milwaukee at the end of March, and we're playing a festival in Pittsburgh on Friday, Descendants of Crom. Then the week after that, we'll be up in New England in Worcester, Massachusetts for Stormbringer Festival. That's going to be the first year for that festival. And then at the end of July, we'll be in Germany playing Headbangers Open Air Festival. So yeah, we've got a lot of stuff lined up for the summer.
Excellent. A little bit of everything. So we actually wanted to play some of that footage that you guys had from the Blades of Steel Metal Fest from Milwaukee there. We got some video for that we wanted to pipe in for the folks to check on here from Iron Flame, and we'll be right back here on Talking About Rock.
Leaving behind all of the memories.
Okay, we're back here on Talking About Rock. Just checked out the video for Seekers of the Blade. So that had to be a nice metal fest there, Blades of Steel Metal Fest. Who else was performing there?
Oh man, there was a ton of great bands. Toxic headlined that night. Who else played there? Nunslaughter. It was a really well balanced bill because there were death metal bands, there were black metal bands, there were traditional heavy metal bands. The band Damien played that night. The band Wraith. It was a really varied bill, and those are the types of bills that I like personally. I don't want to go see the same band 4 times in a row or
Right.
3 times in a row.
And how is it for those metal fests? I know like it's really tough for rock fans right now, but it's even tougher for metal fans right now. You know what I mean? There's not usually a big crowd or a big following for that. How are the shows holding up, and how are the crowds for that?
Well, I think post-pandemic, it's a completely different story, and everybody has been so pent up for so long that, normally people that would stay home and not go to a show are there and attending because everyone's got cabin fever from being pent up.
That's true. Very, very true. Yeah.
So yeah, it's I think it's definitely a different attitude and a different scene than it was pre-pandemic, just because of the whole lockdown aspect of everything. Yeah, you're definitely seeing everybody out, and it's cool to see bands and bills like that with so many different styles that are getting equally appreciated, and not, like, well, when a metal band takes the stage, like all the death metal people walk away, or vice versa. Everything's really equally appreciated. I'm noticing, and that's how I feel. I like all different styles of metal.
And you still get a good mixture in your crowd of younger demographic and older, or would you still say it's?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely primarily my age. Like mid 40s or whatever. I think it's definitely primarily my age. But no, there's definitely a healthy influx of younger kids that are into this stuff, and it's easier to get turned on to music nowadays than it was when you and I were kids. I mean, we had to rely on friends and older brothers. And,
it's totally different. Yeah, it's totally different. But I go to a lot of shows in the area, so I always stop and talk to the younger guys and ask them what got them into this, or what bands are they following, because it's always great to see that, and I know the artists really appreciate that, and they always seem to take the time and see some of the younger guys in there and say, we really appreciate, because that's the next generation of rock fans, right?
Oh,
those are the folks we want. Those are the folks we want to impress, and we want to see them at our shows, definitely. Yeah, sure. and you're right. It's definitely changed so much how it used to be when we were growing up, right? Your friend would have a cassette or something, and you hear something like, "Oh, that's pretty cool," or you'd record it, or you'd go out and buy it, or something like that.
Yeah, it was basically like word of mouth or a magazine, maybe.
Or if you remember back in the day, you go over to somebody's house and you go play records, right? You bring your records, and they bring theirs, and you just hang out, And,
sure.
And now it's like, it's not like that. It's like, now, what's on Spotify? What's the highest paid trending song on Spotify, or what's trending here?
And all you have to do is read a name somewhere, and it's their whole discography is one click away. So it's not like you're not hunting through record stores and buying albums based on the cover art anymore.
I was just talking to that about somebody today. I would spend hours in the record stores, right? Because you only had enough for maybe 1 or 2 albums, so you were going through tons of stuff. And you bought that one cool album that had the cool cover or cool concept, and you were sitting there looking at it as you're listening to the music, seeing if that reflected in the music somehow what the concept was about. It was an experience to buy a new album, and now it's just like, okay, I'll listen for a couple seconds. Yeah, maybe I don't like it. Oh, next one. The attention span is just not there.
I know and there's so many bands too, and so much music that the competition is super fierce, and like you just said, attention spans are shorter than they've ever been in the history of ever. So it's really tough to get somebody to notice you enough to get into your music, just to give you the time of day for it to sink into know whether they like it or not, because like you said, 15 seconds and, the average listener is on to the next thing. So, yeah, it's tougher than ever before. But circling back to the younger generation, I know, I have a couple of my friends are guitar instructors, and, they say that there is no shortage of talented youth coming in. And
the next time you see him, tell him we all thank God for that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Oh yeah, because it can't continue without them. That's for sure.
Yeah, because it didn't seem like that was the way for a while. It didn't seem like, you don't have any of those rock guitar players that you strive to want to be like. There's no rock god icons or amazing guitar players anymore. It seems like that maybe that day is gone. Maybe it'll come back. I don't know.
I don't know if it ever will, but I've noticed that, I guess on the opposite end of things, that kids and just musicians in general are just coming out of the gate way more talented than ever before. Like before, when somebody came out, a guitar player came out and he was 17 and he was awesome. Like that was
unheard of. They were like a unicorn.
Yeah. So, but now, totally not the case. I mean, and just so many kids now are just coming out like naturally, amazingly skilled and talented. And I don't know, that's what I've noticed with these younger generations. Somehow, some way, they're just coming out more naturally gifted.
Well, that's really, really so good to hear, because folks my age, we're all afraid this music is going to go away in the next 5 to 10 years, and I'm not sure what's going to be happening next. Or hopefully there's a whole other generation of rock folks that are going to bring it forward. That's what we're hoping.
Right on.
So folks want more information about you, or they want to look up the band, or what should they do? Should they check you out on Facebook or YouTube?
Yeah, we're on all the normal stuff. Yeah, we're on Facebook. You can, that's Iron Flame USA on Facebook. We're Iron Flame Official on Instagram. You can find us all over YouTube, all over Spotify, all over Apple Music, all those streaming platforms. You can find us on, no problem. You just want to remember, if you're not reading it and you're just hearing it, the name Iron Flame is all one word, Iron Flame.
Good to know. Cool. We really appreciate you taking the time to talk to us today, Andrew, about Iron Flame and the new release coming out July 1st, where Madness Dwells from High Roller Records. So we look forward to that. We look forward to seeing you guys out on the road, maybe catching your show. That would be excellent. That would be so great.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Yep. So if you folks out there have comments or questions about us, feel free to email us at talkingaboutrock@gmail.com. Please like us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And please, we really can use your subscription on YouTube so we can keep bringing you more interesting rock and roll interviews. Andrew, again, thank you for being with us. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely. My pleasure. Thank you for the opportunity.
You got it, man. Have a great night.
Thanks. You too.